Welcome to Knowledge Update channel. This is the first year, that is financial year 2020-24 is the first year where the audit trail is effective. It is applicable to every company. So during this video, we are going to discuss what is the role of auditor. As a first year, it is really critical for us to understand. So primarily, we are going to focus on main 3 points. First, there are 10 important frequently asked questions I have covered. Second, reporting obligation. As an auditor, what is to be reported, how it is to be reported, and third is on audit procedure. So, what are the steps where the auditor should have the step-by-step process to verify audit trail? Let us first glance through preamble. I'm not discussing about the auditor requirement, which I have already shared in another video. So, first point, we are discussing audit trail 1. Why? Because there was an amendment in companies accounts amendment rules 2021, where it mentioned that every company uses accounting software for maintaining books of account, which is a feature of audit trail. And then there is amendment in audit and auditors rule, and by that amendment in rules, it mentioned that the use of accounting software, which is audit trail feature, is it operated throughout the year, and audit trail feature is not tempered with it, and last is audit trail is preserved. So this is the obligation on the auditor. Next point is on the ICAI Audit Implementation Guide. ICAI has issued Audit Implementation Guide for Audit Trail, and this trail guide was revised recently, which also includes the frequently asked questions. So my humble submission to each one of you, please go through that guide, which has a detailed understanding of these frequently asked questions and how can we really plan our audit. Now let us understand one of the very important thing is accounting software, because the responsibility is cast upon the auditor and also management to ensure that every accounting software which the company uses for maintaining books of account should have the audit trail feature. So what is accounting software? It's a computer program or a system that enables recording, maintenance and reporting of books of account and relevant ecosystem. Friends, one of the most important things before we start is to identify what is accounting software. If we fail to identify accounting software, probably we are focusing only on one software. However, we are left behind other software which can be termed as accounting software, and thereby we will not focus on auditor requirement for other softwares. So let us look at first what is accounting software, and then there's a definition of books of accounts, which says that it includes records maintained in respect of all sums of money received or expended by a company to which receipt and expenditure takes place. So it is primarily focusing on money received and expended, sales and purchase of goods, assets liability of the company, and items of cost record. So any information or any software which maintains this kind of information, which is treated as a books of account. So step 1, look at what is my books of account and is it accounting software used by company. Then for every accounting software such, there has to be audit trail as per the requirement. Now, so considering that particular preamble, what we discussed about books of account, let us look at the frequently asked questions. These FAQs are being part of ICAI Implementation Guide of Audit Trail. I have selected 10 important FAQs which I believe are very critical for all of us to have understanding. First one, whether books of accounts maintained in accounting software would include the following. First, master data. So there has been a debate and discussion that whether the audit trail is required only for transaction records or also for master data. It has been clarified that master data are also one of the very, very important parameters for any account. So yes, it should also be applicable for master data. So in case of any vendor record change, master level, that also should be captured in audit trail. Second, whether it includes a purchase order or sales order. There may be a system where company has been issuing purchase order and sales order, and then there is a accounting software where company does accounting. So here the ICI provides guidance that you have to apply a judgment, and depending upon the interface or input to the books of accounts, how they are interfaced each other within two these systems, then you can take a call. Is it a part of audit trail or not for the purpose of this particular requirement? Third, fixed asset register, intangible asset register. If any such records are maintained, then what? So it says that again, it is a part of books of accounts. As we look at the books of accounts, it includes assets liability. So property, plant, equipment, intangible assets, if it is being recorded separately, yes. However, before we conclude, we also need to look at, is it providing direct and auto feeds in the accounting software? So that's the step one, very important thing. Yes, it is a part of books of accounts, but accounting software. So there are two aspects. One is books of accounts. Answer is yes. Second, is it accounting software? For accounting software, the most important thing is that there is a direct and auto feed from such records to my accounts. If that is available, then answer is yes. Otherwise, no. In case if the company is maintaining Excel file, spreadsheet for the purpose of calculations, because when you just look at books of account definition, it talks about a lot of the informations: assets, liability, income, expenditure, sales, purchase. Now if a company is maintaining this information in Excel file, then can that Excel files be treated as a like a requirement of books of account accounting softwares which requires audit trail? So what it says that it depends upon how this particular information has been fed into the accounting software. It is yes if it is provides direct and auto feed to the accounting software. No if it is used to record transactions or for preparing working or calculations, and accounting entries thereof not auto posted directly to accounting software. For example, the company may be doing the working for foreign currency transaction at year end, or there will be tax computation which is done from Excel file. Now these are the Excel file where the working is done, but the direct auto feed is not done from Excel file to software. If that is the situation, it is not accounting software. However, if there's a directly auto feed coming from that particular Excel file to accounting software, as we change compute in Excel, then it is a part of my audit trail. Second question, is there any requirement to report on the audit trail feature in the limited review report? The answer is no. Companies Act 2013 talks about this requirement. There is no mandate by SEBI to report for this particular feature. Can auditor use an IT expert or specialist while auditing and reporting on the audit trail feature of an accounting software? Probably yes, because it all depends upon the complexity of the software. If the particular accounting software is such where it's difficult for the auditor to understand how to do audit, what is the general control within that, so then the auditor can engage the user specialized or experts. So for that, you have to ensure that SS 620 provides guidance about the role of the auditor when you engage the expert, and mind well that the responsibility of the auditor is not reduced. You definitely can engage the expert, but you cannot blindly rely on the expert's opinion. There has to be the proper appropriate audit evidence by the auditor along with the expert as per SS 620. In case audit trail feature has not been enabled since commencement of relevant financial year and only enabled at any time before the year end, will it be considered as non-compliance? Yes. It says it has to be there throughout the year for all transactions. If it has been done only last moment for some of the transactions, it is called non-compliance. 5. Is reporting on audit trail should be done based on each and every change made by a company, or reporting should be done on materiality concept? As an auditor, we are always concerned with respect to materiality, taste check basis which you are doing it. But friends, understand that the materiality concept apply to for audit point of view. However, the audit trail should be done for each and every transactions. Audit trail has to be there for all changes. Materiality is applicable only for test check visits. How can an auditor ensure that the audit trail feature was enabled throughout the financial year without any interruption? This is one of the very, very important part. So, as a part of the audit, it is need to look at the IT general control of the company, understand the software, understand the feature, and these things will discuss through during our audit process overview. Is auditor required to be enabled at a database level, even if access to database in an ERP is restricted to only one user and the log of such user making any such change is enabled? So there has been a lot of debate in industry with respect to the database level. It has been explained by the ICAI in African's question that the access to database to one or more users should be decided by the company. So whether you give access to one user or two user, it is the company which you can decide. And changes made directly at the database level will impact the books of accounts. So it is not only transaction level. Even if you anything is changed at database level, it affects books of account. So anything which affects books of accounts, audit trail is required. So even for changes at database level, auditor should be there. Does the auditor need to do testing in the ERP of the company, or the auditor can simply rely on representation for management? It is not possible to only take blindly on MRL. Management representative is only helpful to support your argument. However, there has to be sufficient appropriate audit evidence based on the procedure which is done by the auditor. Simply blindly relying on MRL will not serve the purpose. Whether a single report showing all edits done during the year containing all details as required is sufficient for the audit trail purpose? See, it is difficult to have one single report which talks about everything together. However, if any software where the number of transactions is less, and if any software is able to provide all edits in a single report, nothing is okay. Everything is okay. Means nothing to worry on that part, because as far as the all edit logs are available, the compliance is done. If the auditor has modified the comment while reporting under Rule 11G on audit trail, whether this will also impact the reporting pursuant to section 153(3)(b) and 153(h). See, the point is that, for example, if you have given a qualified opinion of audit trail under Rule 11G, now we also need to assess the impact of that qualified opinion of Rule 11G on 153(b) and H. So let us first know what is 153(b) stands for. It is primarily talking about whether, in his opinion, proper books of accounts. So what is proper books of accounts as required by law have been kept by the company. So if, and books of account includes audit trail. So if the audit trail has been disqualified or qualified opinions been provided for audit trail, then you have to consider its implications on the proper books of accounts comment which is provided under 153(b). And let us look at H. Under H it says any qualification, reservation or adverse remark relating to the maintenance of accounts and other matters connected therewith. So here also it talks about adverse comments related to maintenance of account, which includes audit trail. So if any qualifications been given, then yes, you also need to consider its impact on both of these paragraph of remarks of audit is concerned. Now with this, let us come to the final very important part of reporting before we look at the audit procedure. So these are the illustrative wording which are included as a part of ICAI Implementation Guide of Audit Trail. What it says that based on our examination which include test check. So again, in this reporting we are mentioning that we have done test check. It is not 100% we have gone through it. Based on our examination which included a test check, the company has used an accounting software which has a feature of recording audit trail, and the same has been operated throughout the year. Further, during the course of our audit, we did not come across any instance of the audit trail feature tampered with. But please ensure the last point which talks about preservation. This preservation point is not available for the first year. For financial year 2020-24 first year, this particular point is not available. It is available from the next year. So we need to modify our audit report to cover this particular point. Now, if there is a modified reporting, means audit trail feature was disabled for one of the books of accounts. So in general, audit trail feature was operating effectively. However, there are other books of accounts for which the audit trail feature was not there. So here it's mentioned that the except, you can mention here except in respect of maintenance of property, plant and equipment records. So that means the company has done appropriately audit trail except the record for which it has not been done. That you can mention here. Also, in case exception is for particular period or particular transactions, you can mention that exception also. If the audit trail feature is not operating effectively with the period, modified opinion, again you can mention except that the audit trail feature of the software for which the company is maintaining payroll records. Also, you can also mention except that no audit trail enabled at the database level for accounting software. In case it is not being done at a database level, this can be mentioned here. Accounting software is maintained by a third party and auditor is unable to assess whether the audit trail feature can be disabled during the reporting period. So here you can mention why you are unable to assess because of your in the absence of certain control report. We are unable to comment. So company, there is a third party software which has been used and you are unable to comment on this because of ABC reason that you can mention here. Let us look at the real published audit report of Infosys Limited. Here, if you just look at the first part is correct. There is no qualified opinion here. Second part also the no qualified opinion, but second part is what is about preservation, which I mentioned earlier that preservation is applicable from next year. That's why it is mentioned that on preservation of audit trail, it is not applicable for the financial year ended March 24. So kindly ensure that whenever the audit report wording has been done, it is being capturing specifically on preservation not applicable for year ended March 24. Emphasis Limited 2324. Here they mention about in the absence of independent auditor report in relation to control at service organization. We discuss about one situation where, for example, sometimes for payroll or some other things, there is service organization has been made entrusted the task, and there was not a report provided by the service organizations about this audit trail. Therefore, the auditor has given the qualified opinion here. Look at the persistent system limited. Again, it mentioned that except for instances mentioned below. So they are also saying it is operating okay. However, there are certain situations where they have the exception. For example, I would mention the accounting software used for maintenance, Oracle Fusion ERP, maintenance for books of accounts, in the absence of any information or existence of audit trail for any direct changes made at a database level. So the point which we discussed about database level, there was an issue here regarding the not having audit trail at a database level. The auditor has given exception. So friends, these are the few reports which are critical for all of us, and when we do drafting for the first time, we have to take care of our audit report wordings. Now, coming to last and a very important part, what should be the audit process for audit trail? The first step one is to look at which are the books of account, what is accounting software. If you miss out in accounting software at the step one itself, then obviously it is going to be out of your purview. So first, have discussion with the management, look at which are the books of account maintained and is it accounting software or not. Step 2, have a review and assessment of IT general control to understand that what is the procedure for the purpose of the changes control over the accounting software. Third, have a test check of the auditor report which has been generated from a software. With respect to first, completeness, all edit logs are done or not. And second thing is that is it operating throughout the year or not. These two are very important part when you do test checks. If required, if there is a service organization there separately, you can take a certificate from service organization auditor, and also you can take MRL from management. Reporting, please be sure for every company during for 23-24 you are supposed to mention about audit trail. So look at the wordings. Preservation part, it is deferred, so that has to be last paragraph for preservation where you mentioning it is not applicable for 2024. Plus earlier you have to be very clear about database level, any accounting software which is being not done even though it is done for others, operating throughout the year or not, and mentioning it is test check basis. So these are the few things which you have to be keeping very important when you sign and go through the audit trail. So friends, I hope that this particular video will give you a lot of information about the how as an auditor, what is the role of auditor as far as this audit trail is concerned. And please, if you have questions, suggestions, you can write in chat box. I'll be happy then basically provide a reply to you. Thank you so much.